Hi everyone, it's Andrea here from Admire PR, and today I am joined by Rohini from Livewire Media.
Hey,
Welcome.
I'm super
Um,
excited to be here.
yeah, it's one of those lovely chats I have with someone, and we delve into your background and your ambitions and your inspirations. So why don't you start by telling everyone your background and how you started out in business?
Sure. So my background is actually in television. I love working in TV. Got to travel all over the country doing it. But on the side, I was always making videos as a kind of a hobby. And then I realized one day that the TV industry just wasn't for me anymore. So I figured, okay, let's give this video business thing a go. And then I already had lots of business connections, so I knew enough to know that the video production in general was very saturated, so I needed to have a different edge. And I started to see that a lot of businesses, they would get their videos made, very beautiful looking videos, but they didn't know marketing, and the production company also didn't know marketing. And
Sure.
yet these companies were trying to use these videos as a tool to help them to grow their business, but they didn't have any knowledge on how to do that. And so I decided let's focus on saying, actually, yeah, we can make you this really great looking video, but also we can help you to use that as a tool to get you from where you are now in your business to where you want to be. And as part of that, we teach people about camera confidence and how to really structure their videos. Because sometimes we find that people just want to go off and do it themselves, but they don't have the knowledge or the know-how to do it themselves. So we teach them that video psychology.
Yeah, that's it's great because I know so many companies who are just like you said, they've got these brilliant videos that they've made, but then they actually don't use them. Like the times I go and talk to a new client and they say, "Oh yeah, we've got some video content, but we've never done anything with it." And you think, oh, all that wasted resource.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah, so yeah, having that marketing edge and teaching people what to do, yeah, it's a real advantage for you. So what are your ambitions with the company? Where do you see yourselves going?
Ultimately, to travel a lot more and work as more of a video consultant.
Brilliant. And where's your favorite places to travel? Where
Oh,
do you want to
anywhere and
work?
everywhere.
Anywhere.
Yeah, literally anywhere and everywhere.
Brilliant. So yeah, have you is that something you've had a little taste of before? And yeah, so you know that you enjoy the travel part of work.
Absolutely, yeah. So it's always fun going through airports with your camera equipment because they always need to like take everything apart.
Ah, yeah, I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, so I always have to get there like a couple of hours earlier to kind of counter that time
Yeah,
lost. And they always look at you funny, like, why are you bringing this equipment through customs?
yeah, okay, I can see that. Yeah, there must be quite an art to packing as well.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Fun though. I did my first travel experience in Dusseldorf. So we landed in Germany, but then we drove over to Holland because it's a really short drive to.
yeah, it is. Yeah.
And we actually filmed. My client was a speaker at a United Air Force event for the military. So
Wow.
he asked me to come along and film for him.
Yeah.
So that was
Brilliant.
definitely an awesome experience.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. Yeah, and I used to work in Dusseldorf, and I know that area really well. And it's been so long since I've travelled with work,
Yeah.
and I can't wait as well to get back to that. That's just been the pandemic thing kind of killed my travel. But business isn't always easy, is it? That's the thing. It's we all start a business from a passion, but what do you do to stay motivated? Because there are some days when it does feel tough.
Yeah, so I surround myself with like-minded type people, or people who just understand the entrepreneur journey, because
Mm,
not everyone gets it.
no.
It is a different mindset, so you need to surround yourself with people who understand that mindset and also who are in positions that you want to be in, so you can learn from them.
Yeah.
I also do a lot of grounding work as well, so lots of meditation, listen to music, affirmations, going out for walks. And a lot of people tend to think that meditation is just sitting there like that and just chanting Om, and it's not. It's a very small part of mindfulness practice, and it's not about blocking the thoughts out. It's about acknowledging them, but choosing to not entertain them.
Yeah, yeah, I understand what you mean. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
I have a way I lie on the floor, you know, when I've got had a difficult call or have something to think about. And we don't have an office now, we're all remote, but when I had an office, the funniest thing was always to not tell the new person that I was just going to end up lying, you know, just randomly in the middle of the office, just like lie on the floor at times. Yeah, it's always good, always
Yeah.
good. So yeah, it sounds like you've got a really healthy approach. And you're right, because you know, having those people, it can be quite a small circle of friends as well as you start on an entrepreneurial journey, who really do understand that sometimes you're going to choose to work rather than do something else, and that's a choice, isn't it? So having that support is really
Yeah,
important.
and I think especially in the beginning, like your parents, your aunties, your uncles, they might not understand the concepts of it. So my dad was very much like, you can work on your phone, but you can't do the gardening while you're at home. I had to explain to him, like, no, Dad, I'm about to go off to a shoot, or I'm doing some editing, or I'm in the middle of something. And I think it's that, maybe it's that older generation mindset where like you have to go out and physically get your hands dirty to earn your money.
Yeah, yeah, I can understand that. And also, yeah, I've got friends who are employed and they'll never quite understand the pressure of not having someone else pay you your monthly salary. That's a
Yeah.
yeah, and you know that it is a different world we live in when we start running our own
And
company.
that was definitely a comfort thing for me as well. A lot of people are stuck in jobs that make them unhappy because the job security, it gives them that sense of comfort. And I was definitely in that
Yeah.
position when I first started out. I mean, I had an employed position within a very large beauty franchise company making their videos for them.
Mm.
I hated it because they didn't understand and they weren't doing certain things that they needed to do. But and yet I was making just as much money in my side hustle, the video business, as I was in my employment.
Yeah.
And yet it was still that mindset of discomfort.
Yeah, exactly. You have to get, is the phrase of being getting comfortable with feeling uncomfortable, and that,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah. And so so you started a bit like me, that you had something employed but you had your side hustle, and then you got to that point where you're like, okay, this can take over now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually got fired 3 times before I got the memo that I wasn't meant to be employed.
Yeah, okay, we have a similar story. Yeah, some of us, yeah, aren't meant to be employed, really. Definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think that's you know, anyone who's like listening to this, who's thinking maybe they've got a passion, they want to turn it into a business, it's a great way to start, because it does take that initial pressure of you to make it all work quickly. You can let things develop more organically when you have a bit of money coming in from one area, and yeah, and you can then just shift it. And I think that's a very sensible way to start.
Yeah, if it's going to be a bit like sometimes it might be like having a knife in your bank account because it's just uncomfortable. Sometimes you just got to rip off that plaster or that band-aid and just go for it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to leave and hope that the net appears. But like you've just said, if you're making just as much money in your side hustle as you are in your employment, it's time to leave your employment.
Definitely. Yeah, and especially, you know, if you get sacked, then, you know, you kind of being shoved anyway. So, there we go. What I think you must be a bit like me, that you kind of get your information from lots of different sources and you're curious and a learning person. What are a couple of things you've read or listened to that you might want to share with others that really inspired you? Is there anything that stands out?
I think the first book that comes to mind is Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. I don't know if you've read that or not, or listened to the audiobook of it.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
teaches you about the difference between like a poor person's mindset and a rich person's mindset. And I say poor person in quotations.
mm,
It's just it is just that. It's a mindset thing. People who have money, they think differently compared to people who feel like they don't have money.
yes,
And the Rich Dad Poor Dad, it kind of highlights how different people think and how you need to be thinking in order to create more wealth for yourself. And it also opened up my eyes to think that actually wealth just goes beyond money,
yeah,
because so I'm quite fortunate now that I get to film in a lot of multi-million-pound homes.
mm,
And what I notice is that the people who own their homes, they don't measure their wealth in terms of just their money. They
mm,
measure it in how much time they have, how much time freedom do they have, how much impact are they giving back. Whereas somebody who is employed, they measure their wealth and they just think, how much money is in my bank account?
yeah, yeah. It makes us, there's a lot more to wealth and abundance than money. And it's not to do with money, is it? It's to do with time. Is an incredible commodity. It's the one thing that we all have but we can't change,
Yeah,
and it's finite. And I spend a lot of time, like thinking about my time. I'm very careful because I'm lucky, I've got 3 children, and it's it I really do like segregate my time with them and then my time for work. And yes, sometimes I need to work when they're around, and I'll say, right, I've got a call, it's going to be half an hour, and they know, that then it ends.
yeah,
And I'm really, really strict about that, because it's that one thing that we don't have a lot of.
yeah. I mean, I had a really good quote. Beyonce has 24 hours in a day. She has the
Yeah,
same 24 hours in a day as you do.
yeah,
It's not about how you
absolutely.
use it.
Yeah, absolutely. So where do you how do you learn like new things in your industry? Are you a big reader or podcast listener? What's your thing? Are you a paper person, or do you like the audio type?
It depends really on my mood and what I've got going on for that day, to be honest.
Yeah,
Sometimes it is an audiobook day because I'm traveling and I can't read while
yeah,
I'm
I
traveling.
do that. Yeah, yeah,
Sometimes it's a case of subscribing to certain newsletters that give you certain insights. A lot of the time, it's having the right connections. So I have a connection that works that works directly for Meta, as in the company
yeah,
Meta. So I get their trainings directly, because what Meta do is when they release a new update, they share it with like a certain group of people, and then the rest of the masses find out about it.
yeah,
I'm quite fortunate that I get access to their kind of internal trainings, if you like. So
okay,
definitely, again, surrounding yourself with people who just get the entrepreneur journey,
yeah,
surrounding yourself with like-minded kind of people really, really helps. Um, but also you can, when you really know your audience, like really get to know them, like in detail, know their lifestyle, you start to learn about what it is that they are leaning more towards. So you can then cater towards that.
sure, yeah, definitely. And we're back again to those important people, and the
Mhm.
ones, I started my agency because of a couple of people I met who had agencies, and I never thought of doing it, and then I met them, and it just inspired me to take that leap. So I mean, this kind of brings us on to the last question, which is what you would advise of young people who want to get into your industry. And I guess that one of those is finding the right like people to learn from.
Yeah, there's a ton of YouTube tutorials out there as well.
Mhm.
There's quite a few tips. I'll go through all of them. Number one, don't be afraid to share your knowledge with people, because people often think that if you teach people how to do what you do, you give them your insights and your knowledge, you're giving them a treasure map to success. And that's 9 times out of 10, it's not the case.
Yeah,
If they do take your advice and make an amazing success of it, but they don't choose to take on your services, amazing. You've helped somebody else to reach their goals.
yeah,
9 times out of 10, though, they're going to come to you because they see you as the credible person to do the job. The next tip would be to soak up all the knowledge that is kind of on the internet, but also work on your own mindset. There's a lot of crap out there. But by working on yourself, working on your mindset, you'll know exactly what works for you and what doesn't work for you. For example, I'm very much I'm not a visual person, which is ironic because I do video. I learn better through audios. So if you try and visually explain something to me, I'm not going to get it. If you just let me listen to it, I'm going to get it.
Okay, yeah. So understanding how you learn it as an individual is really important. Yeah.
Don't be sidetracked by what other people are doing because people are just promoting their best life. That's it, really. You have no idea what is going on beneath the surface, what's going on behind closed doors. You have no idea what exactly they've had to do to get to where they are now. They could have had a very fortunate opportunity. They could have massively screwed somebody else over. They've done what they need to do to get to where they are. So that's exactly what you need to do. Don't get sidetracked by the shiny penny syndrome or what other people are doing. And on that line as well, there's a difference between loud wealth and quiet wealth. And I'm not sure if you know this difference or not.
Yeah, as in like obvious and somebody who shows it sort of on their Instagram profile or what have you. Is that what you mean? Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. And if you want to show off your wealth, amazing, go for it. If you want to show off the Lambo that you've just got, the new Chanel bag, you've just got the new Rolex that you've just got, amazing. I'm all for promoting success and rewarding yourself for success. But don't do it for vanity reasons to show people that you're living a certain lifestyle. I think it's very easy to get sidetracked with doing that, especially with what you see on social media these days. As I mentioned before, I've been working on multi-million-pound homes within multi-million-pound homes, and the one thing that I've noticed is that those owners, they have quiet wealth. They measure their success in terms of how much impact, time freedom that they have, not just financial wealth. And I'll give you an example. I was filming in one house earlier this week, actually. The guy has a private home cinema, a Lambo. He's looking at building an outdoor cinema system.
Yeah.
And he's also looking at building a pool.
Yeah.
He handed us our drinks in Versace mugs.
Amazing. I didn't even know Versace did mugs. There you go.
And yet he himself was wearing joggers and a t-shirt and a hoodie and flip-flops.
Yeah.
You go on his social media, there was nothing there about anything. Like a few posts about his Lambo, that was it. Because his Lambo was a hobby. That was it. He wasn't doing it to show off. Loud wealth is where you do it to show off because you want validation from other people. Quiet wealth is where you're doing it for your own enjoyment.
Yeah, that makes loads of sense. Yeah.
So don't get sidetracked by wanting to lead a certain lifestyle. Create that lifestyle, live it privately for yourself, and then if you want to show it off, amazing, show it off. But I can guarantee you nobody's going to care about it.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, people are not doing business with that guy because of his amazing house. They're doing business with him because of the skills he's got, the talents he's got, the knowledge he's got, the experience, the network that he's got. That's why they're doing business with him, and he developed that along his journey.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you know what, Rohini? This has been, you can tell that you were from TV because I've never had so many amazing sound bites in an interview. Like, okay, we could just make these like quote cards now. It's just like you've just shared some really like beautiful knowledge yourself. And like you say, don't be afraid of sharing those things that you have learned and the knowledge that you have from your own industry. Thank you so much for giving us a glimpse into your mindset and your business.
I appreciate it. It's been fun.